Welcome back to What's the Deal, your go-to channel for breaking down the latest trending topics. Today, we're diving into one of the most unexpected twists in recent political history: Donald Trump's victory in the 2024 presidential election. Yes, Trump is back in the Oval Office, and this time, the Republicans hold a rare majority across the House, Senate, and the Supreme Court. In this video, we're unpacking how Trump secured a second term, why some of the Democrats' predictions about demography being destiny fell short, and what a fully Republican government could mean for America's future policies, from the economy to immigration and beyond. If you're curious about how these changes could impact daily life, or if you're a political junkie who wants the inside scoop, stick around. Before we dive in, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives on the issues that matter most. And don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments. What policies do you think will take center stage in a Trump-led government? Let's jump right in. To understand Trump's unexpected victory in 2024, we need to take a step back and look at a core belief in Democratic strategy over the past several decades: the idea that demography is destiny. This theory posits that as America becomes more diverse, with rising numbers of Hispanic, Black, and Asian American voters, the Democratic Party would naturally benefit. The thinking went that these groups would reliably support Democratic candidates, giving the party an inevitable advantage as they grew in size and influence. However, 2024 defied these expectations. While demographic changes did shift the electorate's makeup, voter behavior didn't align with what many Democratic strategists had predicted. Instead of expanding their base, Democrats saw notable defections among key groups. Hispanic voters, who once leaned heavily Democratic, showed increasing support for Trump, especially in regions where economic and cultural issues resonated. Additionally, younger voters and working-class communities, groups Democrats counted on, were swayed by Trump's messages on jobs, inflation, and national security. So what happened? Many experts argue that the Democratic Party may have overestimated loyalty from certain demographics and underestimated Trump's appeal among groups disillusioned by economic stagnation and cultural polarization. In short, Republicans managed to create a broad coalition by appealing to shared concerns about the economy, national identity, and social change, bridging gaps across demographics that Democrats thought were secure. This shift challenges the demography as destiny assumption in significant ways and has led to critical reflections on what truly drives voter behavior. As we explore the theories behind Trump's 2024 victory, we'll examine what went right for Republicans and where Democrats might have miscalculated, all while considering what this new era of Republican leadership means for policy in America. Trump's 2024 victory wasn't just the result of strategic campaigning. It represented a complex set of trends that Republicans leveraged to broaden their appeal across key demographics. Let's break down the main theories that explain this win, especially how they contrast with the Democrats' demography is destiny expectations. 1. Economic messaging and the appeal to working-class voters. One of Trump's most effective strategies was his direct appeal to working and middle-class Americans feeling the impact of inflation, job instability, and economic uncertainty. His message of America First resonated deeply in industrial states and rural areas that have long felt neglected by economic globalization. By framing himself as a champion for the average American, someone fighting to bring jobs back to the US and cut dependence on foreign goods, Trump re-engaged voters who had shifted away from the Democratic Party in recent years. Democrats, by contrast, focused heavily on issues like climate change and social justice, which, while important, did not address the immediate economic concerns of many voters. 2. Republican inroads with minority voters. One of the biggest surprises was Trump's traction with minority voters, especially Hispanic and Asian American communities. While Democrats had traditionally assumed these groups would align with their platform, many Hispanic voters in states like Texas, Florida, and Nevada were drawn to Trump's policies on job creation, strong borders, and support for small businesses. For some, Republican stances on issues like school choice, religious freedom, and even cultural conservatism held more appeal than the Democratic platform. This shift reflects a more nuanced view of minority voting behavior that Democrats may have overlooked. Many minority communities prioritize economic stability, public safety, and educational opportunities rather than aligning strictly along party lines. The Republican Party's ability to recognize and appeal to these issues without assuming demographic loyalty was crucial to Trump's success. 3. Effective use of media and a populist narrative. Trump's campaign effectively harnessed alternative media and social platforms to sidestep mainstream narratives and connect directly with supporters. By using social media platforms and independent outlets, Trump's team kept a steady flow of messages unfiltered by traditional news channels. This populist approach reinforced his image as an outsider standing against both political elites and media establishments, a message that resonated strongly with disillusioned voters. In contrast, Democrats largely relied on conventional media, which may have failed to reach a broad swath of voters who are increasingly skeptical of traditional news sources. The Republican strategy created a direct line to voters, particularly in rural and conservative areas, allowing Trump's team to stay ahead of media narratives and counter criticism more directly. 4. Social and cultural issues. Driving voter engagement. The Democrats' focus on issues like climate change, social justice, and progressive cultural shifts often put them at odds with more moderate and traditionalist voters. Trump, by contrast, championed issues that appealed to voters who felt uncomfortable with the pace of cultural change. Topics like gender identity in schools, freedom of speech on college campuses, and the preservation of American values allowed Trump to galvanize a base concerned with these shifts. For many, this reinforced Trump as a leader who would stand up for their values in the face of what they saw as an increasingly liberal, progressive agenda. 5. Immigration policy as a defining issue. Trump's stance on immigration also played a pivotal role in his appeal, especially among voters concerned with national security and economic stability. Trump and the Republican Party positioned stricter immigration controls and enhanced border security as essential to the nation's well-being. This message was particularly resonant in border states and communities impacted by immigration policies, where people believed that stricter controls could relieve strain on local resources. This approach also appealed to some immigrant communities who support regulated immigration, as it aligns with their belief in following established legal processes. Democrats, by contrast, campaigned on more inclusive immigration policies, which some voters saw as disconnected from their immediate concerns about border security and local impacts. 6. The power of a unified Republican agenda. Finally, Trump benefited from a unified Republican agenda across federal and state levels. Unlike previous years, where internal GOP disagreements might have diluted messaging, 2024 saw a coordinated effort to rally behind shared priorities, strengthening the economy, securing borders, and protecting American values. With widespread Republican control, Trump's promises seemed more attainable to voters who viewed a GOP majority government as uniquely positioned to deliver tangible results. To see how these factors shaped Trump's path to victory, let's examine a few key examples where Republican strategies aligned with voter concerns and produced surprising results. 1. Texas's Rio Grande Valley. In past elections, the heavily Hispanic counties along Texas's southern border, known as the Rio Grande Valley, were reliably Democratic. However, in 2024, Trump saw an unexpected surge in support here. Towns like McAllen and Brownsville, which had historically leaned blue, showed increased Republican voting patterns. Local concerns about the economy, crime, and border security likely influenced this shift, with many residents drawn to Trump's stance on stricter immigration controls. For these communities, Trump's message resonated as he linked economic security with border management, leading to significant inroads for Republicans in a traditionally Democratic stronghold. 2. The industrial Midwest, Michigan and Ohio. In the industrial heartlands of Michigan and Ohio, Trump's focus on manufacturing jobs and economic self-reliance struck a chord with voters. These states have long experienced job losses due to outsourcing and factory closures. Trump's campaign focused on revitalizing manufacturing, promising policies to protect American jobs and reduce dependence on foreign imports. In Michigan, for instance, counties that had swung back to Democrats in previous elections shifted once again toward Trump as his economic messaging aligned with the priorities of working-class voters. Trump's message of America First resonated deeply here, with voters feeling that he was directly addressing their struggles in ways that previous administrations had overlooked. Ohio, in particular, saw a rise in support among blue-collar workers who identified with Trump's economic vision and felt the Democrats were out of touch with their daily realities. 3. Shifts among young Hispanic and Asian American voters in Florida and Nevada. While Democrats expected to secure strong support from younger Hispanic and Asian American voters, these groups showed increased openness to Trump, particularly in states like Florida and Nevada. In Florida, for example, younger Cuban American and Venezuelan American voters gravitated toward Trump's hardline stance against socialism and his policies promoting economic opportunity. These voters, many of whom come from families with first-hand experiences of socialist regimes, were receptive to Trump's warnings and policies aimed at preserving capitalism and free enterprise. In Nevada, Trump's support for small businesses and job creation attracted Asian American business owners in urban areas. The Republican focus on a pro-business environment appealed to immigrant communities that prioritize economic opportunity and stability, revealing that economic concerns sometimes outweigh cultural alignment with democratic policies. 4. Rural areas. Nationwide. Rural voters have historically leaned Republican, but Trump's campaign further solidified this base with targeted messaging around agriculture, mining, and energy independence. In states like Pennsylvania and Wyoming, Trump promised deregulation and policies favorable to the energy and agriculture sectors, reinforcing his support among rural communities reliant on these industries. Trump's pledge to protect fossil fuel jobs and promote energy independence was especially appealing in Pennsylvania, where communities dependent on coal and natural gas production felt threatened by Democratic environmental policies. The rural-urban divide was amplified in 2024, with Trump drawing strong support from rural areas nationwide. His ability to tap into the values and economic priorities of these communities helped Republicans not only secure the presidency, but also gain control in both chambers of Congress. With Donald Trump back in the White House and Republicans holding majorities in the House, Senate, and Supreme Court, we're entering a new chapter in American politics. This unified Republican government has the power to enact sweeping changes across a wide range of issues, from economic policy and healthcare to social issues and immigration. So what can we expect? First, we're likely to see a renewed focus on tax cuts and deregulation, as Trump and his allies aim to stimulate business growth and reduce government intervention in the economy. This could mean tax breaks for corporations and individuals, along with fewer restrictions on industries like energy, technology, and manufacturing. For many Americans, these changes might lead to more jobs and economic opportunities, but they could also spark debates on income inequality and corporate accountability. On immigration, we can anticipate stricter border controls and policies focused on national security. With a Republican majority in Congress, Trump's administration will likely push for measures to limit asylum, reduce family-based immigration, and bolster border enforcement. These moves could reshape America's immigration landscape, affecting millions of people and provoking a range of reactions from communities across the country. We can also expect conservative policies to take center stage on social issues, especially with a Republican-leaning Supreme Court. Topics like religious freedom, gun rights, and even reproductive laws may see significant shifts as conservative lawmakers work to pass new legislation, supported by a court that's inclined to uphold these measures. For Trump supporters, these changes are the fulfillment of campaign promises. For others, they signal a time of major cultural and political realignment. Ultimately, Trump's 2024 win and the Republican majority challenge traditional assumptions about voting trends and demographic loyalty. As Democrats revisit their strategies, Republicans will look to solidify their vision for America, aiming to reshape policy and redefine what's possible in this new political era. Thanks for watching. If you found this breakdown insightful, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more videos, and let us know your thoughts in the comments. How do you think Trump's policies will impact the future? Join us again on What's the Deal for more in-depth analysis of the stories shaping our world. See you next time.